Hello everyone, my name is Dustin Davis and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this first webinar that Norplex-Micarta is presenting at the Composites Corner channel on Bright Talk. This presentation is scheduled to last approximately 15 minutes and we want to thank you for your time and let's get started. Norplex-Micarta is committed to the composites material industry, and we're going to talk a little bit about how we demonstrate that commitment through not only our history, but the current efforts that we have to ensure the health and growth of the composites material industry. We work collaboratively throughout the supply chain to find ways to bring solutions to the market. Everyone from people who supply constituents and various inputs to companies that are professionals at turning materials into parts for OEMs, and even with OEMs and their design teams so that they can realize the benefits that composites bring to many different applications. So this commitment and collaboration are all in order to achieve creative solutions to both technical and business challenges that companies face. At a very high level, Norplex-Micarta works in thermoset resin chemistry and practices impregnation and lamination technology. We do this from two facilities in the world, one in the state of Iowa here in the United States, and the other about 2 hours west of Shanghai, China. On a global basis, we have approximately 250 employees and produce over 300 standard products every year. We'll detail a little bit more about those products and how they're supplied, but these products are often supplied to industry standards but are also available for customers to use as they're beginning their evaluation of composite materials to baseline these materials in an easy way in their applications. But we're much more than just a material supplier. We can be a development partner. And we have services that we offer along the lines of applications engineering. Of course, core to our mission is developing new materials for applications and then providing data through our material characterization capabilities so that end users and designers can have confidence in their designs. So a little over 100 years ago, George Westinghouse with the Westinghouse companies worked with a man named Leo Baekeland, who is credited as the discoverer or inventor of phenolic resins. And he wanted to apply this phenolic resin on a cellulose-based material, originally a cotton fiber, to see if he could replace micarta in his high voltage equipment. Micarta was born out of those efforts, and while we have moved beyond the original cotton phenolic materials, we still produce those, and we'll detail more about our product range, which has expanded greatly over the last 100 years. Now, on the Norplex side of the business, that began as the Northern Plastics Corporation after World War II in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The current facility for Norplex in Postville, Iowa, opened in 1975. In 1999, Norplex was acquired by a company from Noblesville, Indiana called IBI. In 2003, Norplex had the opportunity to acquire the micarta division of what was then Nevamar, and Norplex-Micarta was formed, and the assets were consolidated into an expanded facility in Postville, Iowa. In 2013, the company took its product range in a geographic expansion and opened the facility in China. In 2018, the Postville, Iowa facility was once again expanded and we added filament winding capabilities. And we encourage you all to stay tuned because in late 2020 or early 2021, we're going to have some more exciting news to share about the Norplex-Micarta brand and our capabilities. So let's talk about what some of those capabilities are from a product standpoint. As I mentioned, we practice thermoset resins and we work in impregnation and lamination technology. So those become products of prepreg. Probably another product line that we are best well known for is our sheets or laminate product line. We have a line of tubes, and then of course we produce other shapes from those prepregs. Thermosets are our primary interest and focus right now, and we produce the resin chemistries such as epoxy, phenolic, melamine, silicone, and a few others. And of course, in each one of those broad families of resin chemistries, there are many very different variations. In terms of reinforcements, we've talked a little bit about cellulose, cotton, paper-based. materials, but now we produce materials, prepregs, on many different reinforcements: glass, carbon fiber, aramid, and in fact we use some thermoplastic resins as reinforcements in specialty grades. Our sheet materials, of course, are built from prepreg, but not exclusively from those prepregs. We can produce hybrid materials where we incorporate things such as rubber or metals or other materials that provide certain characteristics that are important to a downstream application and are specified by our various end-use customers. Many of our sheets are supplied to industry standards, but the vast majority of our new work is all custom engineered for OEM or end-user requirements. Our tubes, Micarta has produced, and Norplex-Micarta has produced since 2003, tubes that are called convolute wound, or essentially roll wrapped from prepreg. Because of that, they're limited to 48 inches in length, but they can take advantage of all of the intricacies and advantages of prepreg type approach. As I've already mentioned, in 2018, we added the filament winding capability, which is a more traditional composites process. Right now, we're simply practicing glass epoxy for that, but all of the products there are custom engineered, and I look forward to working with you if you have additional needs or requirements for a filament wound part. And of course, we make rods, angles, some ripple springs, other small leaf springs from our prepregs, and all of those are based upon customer design requirements. Of course, we have our service capabilities as well, and we put these into three categories: our applications engineering, product development, and material characterization. The applications engineering function is filled by people who are technically minded, but are also able to help reach a business consensus and conclusion. So they help not only with product management, but also with design support, and help develop processes to help materials prepregs or sheets from the material into a part that could work in the end application. Of course, center and core to us, and even on this slide, is our product development efforts. We develop dozens of new materials annually. We do that through prepreg, sheets, and other shapes. And at this point in time, all of our product development efforts are driven exclusively to customer requirements. Material characterization is another part of our services, and while we use this to do ongoing quality control and product verification, the primary focus of our material characterization efforts are to support both product development, process development, and applications engineering. One of the things that we do for customers in the applications engineering phase is identify what data would be most helpful to them at either an element or application level to inform their design decisions. Now, as we transition a little bit from the concept of producing prepreg, sheets, tubes, and other shapes, we want to talk a little bit how we can categorize these products around applications and make it easier for people to understand the kind of value that a composite material can bring to an application. On the left-hand side of this slide are brands that we have formed around traditional industrial laminate applications. Electrolam, as the name implies, is for electrical insulation applications. These are often supplied to industry standards, but also to customer specific requirements or customer specifications. These are available both as sheets and tubes and some other molded shapes, and is a core product line for Norplex-Micarta. Another interesting use of our laminate materials, both in space, process industry, scientific, and the LNG market, are our cryogenic laminates. We brand those as Cryolan. These materials are specifically designed, and some are very well known, such as MP500CR, for their use in application and even in outer space environments where they see lifetimes of use in cryogenic and even approaching absolute zero conditions. Finally, another use of composite materials is in bearing and wear. We have taken the original product lines that were based upon cotton or paper, modified them with additives, and created materials that are good in wear and in bearing applications. We brand these group of products in Durax, And this is a very exciting way that people use composites that aren't based upon abrasive type reinforcements that are more commonly known as glass and carbon fiber. This allows us to bring many of the advantages of composites, such as corrosion resistance, to these applications in the bearing and wear space. On the right-hand side of this slide, we have some more of the newer innovations that Norplex-Micarta has brought to the market. Our first one we highlight is in the consumer applications, which is our Ultrex brand. For those of you that are familiar with the Micarta name, you may recognize that as the original Micarta products, and those are commonly used in knife handle and other designs and consumer applications. In our Ultrex line, we've taken not only those original Micarta products, but we've expanded it to include materials such as G10, which is a glass epoxy, where colors and different variations can be achieved in a way that isn't possible with phenolic and canvas-based materials. In addition, in this space, we have a patent pending process, and it creates a product called SureTouch, where we are able to hybridize G10 with rubber, which gives you some compliance in the material, provides an anti-slip feature, but yet retains all the benefits that G10 is well known for in those applications. Finally, and maybe most interestingly to many of you, are what are we doing around structural applications of composites in various different industries, from transportation to general industrial to marine and even the infrastructure market. Our approach to this is what we call our Enable X system, where we take the advantages of our continuous fiber prepreg for its consistency and its predictability. We combine that with molding compounds, which provide great geometric freedom in the part. This allows us to combine the benefits of both of these materials and do that in a system that's designed and supported through our applications engineering efforts to grow the structural use of composite materials. So as we start to wrap up this talk, I wanted to provide to you a couple of URLs and places that you can go to do additional research as you're thinking about how Norplex-Micarta and composite materials could be beneficial to you. Some of these we fully intend to turn into future talks on this channel, and we encourage you to come back for those talks. One of those is information on standards for composite materials. This is a hot topic in the composites community right now. Many people don't understand that there are standards that already exist for composite materials, and Norplex-Micarta supplies to many of those. We'll talk about the standards and the bodies and how those are arranged and governed, but we'll also explore topics like what is G10 and how is it different than FR4. We'll also have additional information for you on our website and through future talks on characterization of materials, exploring Norplex-Micarta's capabilities in this area, but also how to work with the anisotropy of composite materials and to use material characterization efforts early in your design process to make better design decisions and accelerate your design process. On that same front, we have an entire resource dedicated to designing with composite materials that are here to help people who aren't necessarily familiar with the way composite materials are built and how they are used in applications. We will be able to walk you through our capabilities to support your design efforts, but also present a methodology about how you can go at looking at utilizing composites in your specific application. So as we begin to wrap up our time here, I want to once again thank you for setting in on this quick introduction. We look forward to working with you, and we provided our contact information here, both from a technical support standpoint, but also if you just have general inquiries. I encourage you to follow us on our social media feeds, where we can continue to provide relevant content to you. And if you're not yet a subscriber to the Bright Chalk channel, I encourage that as well. Of course, you're welcome to reach out to me directly. Again, my name is Dustin Davis. I'm the Director of Business Development for Norplex-Micarta, and thank you for attending this presentation.